we're going to start learning about series. So this unit is all about sequences and series. A series is the sum of the terms in a sequence. So I'm taking my list of numbers and adding them together. So for example, if I have the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, I could write that as a series by putting plus signs. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. And then I can actually type that in and get an answer. So what would that be? 10. What's different about this second sequence than the first one? It continues forever. So it's like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus dot dot dot. What would I get if I added all of those together?
An infinite number.
Infinity, yes. So we really can't get a real number because we would just keep adding forever. So if we have a sequence that goes on forever, you don't get a just single number answer. And then, so this last one as a series, 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 24. And what is that? It is 45. Good. So most of our sequences that you will see are going to be infinite sequences. So we do what are called partial sums, which means we find the sum of part of. So if you see S with a little number, that means the sum of the first n terms. So if it's S with a 5, that means I would be asking you to find the sum of the first 5 terms. So when you see an S with a little number, that's the sum. So if we're looking here at number 1, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. I'm asking you to find the sum of the first 9 terms. So that would be 1 plus 2 plus 3. I'm going to put plus dot 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 plus 9 so that I don't have to write 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can calculate that. And we get 45. Number 2, I'm finding the sum of the first 4 terms. I'm finding Sn. So 4 plus 7 plus 13 plus 25. It is 49. Number 3, I'm finding the sum of the first, how many? 6 terms. So 1 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16 plus 25. What would be my 6th term? What's special about these numbers?
They're all prime.
Not prime. They're all perfect squares. That's 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared. So what is 6 squared? 36. $91. And then number 4, we're finding the sum of the first 6 terms. So 1 plus 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/5. That's only 5 plus 1/6. Yep. So you'll have to probably I think it's easier to do it like, instead of doing alpha y equals every time, it's easier to do it this way. And then I can just convert my answer to a fraction. And you get 49 over 20. Now, if I just ask you for the sum of just a few, it's not too bad. You can come up with them. But there's a way to do this without, in the calculator, without just having to do 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. But in order to do that, you have to have a formula to go with it. And today, I'm just going to give you the formula and we're going to practice. I'm going to show you how to do it by hand and then we'll do it in the calculator. So this right here is a Greek letter. You may know what it is. Sigma. Right there. That is sigma. And sigma means the sum. So whenever you see that in math, it's representing the sum. On the bottom of the sigma, we have n equals some number. And that is the first number that we are adding. So if I wanted you to add all of the second term through the 5th term, I didn't care about the first one, you would start with a 2 down there. Pretty much the ones that we do are always going to start with a 1 because we want to include that. And then the top number is the last term that we're adding, so the last term number. So we're adding the first term through the 5th term. And then beside of that will be an explicit formula. So in the last 2 lessons, we learned how to write those formulas. Those 2 that are up there on the board. So when we get into some arithmetic and geometric series, we will put in that explicit formula over here. But for today, we're just going to practice using sigma with the formulas that I give you. So how this works is we are going to find A1 through A4 with this formula, and then we're going to add them all together. So A1 would be, if I plug in a 1 for n, I get 1 minus 1, which is 0. So my first term in the sequence is 0. Once I get all 4, then I'm going to find the sum. I'm going to add them together. So A2, if I plugged in a 2, 2 minus 1, which is 1. A3 is 3 minus 1, which is 2. And then A4 is 4 minus 1, which is 3. And so then the sum, I'm going to add all of these together. And that gives me 6. Once I show you how to type this in the calculator, if you type this in, it would give you 6. So let's go down to number 6. This time we're finding A1 through A5. So term 1 through term 5. I don't think I spaced them enough. So we have -3 times 1, which is -3. -3 times 2, which is -6. -3 times 3. -3 times 4. And -3 times 5. And then we add them all together. Is it -45? Negative. Okay. Number 7, I am finding the sum from A1 to A4. So it would be 5 times 1 plus 12, which is what? 17. A2, 5 times 2 plus 12, that would be 22. 5 times 3 plus 12, 27. And 5 times 4 plus 12, 32. I want you to work on numbers 8 and 9. Number 8 should have got -8, and number 9, 20. Good? Now here's how you do it in the calculator. Click Math, the Math button. I'm going to scroll either up or down to 0, where you should see sigma. So we're going to type it in just like this. You can use an N if you want, but it's just as easy or easier to hit this button and put an X. As long as you use the same letter throughout, it doesn't matter. So if you want to use an N, fine. If you just want to hit one button and hit an X, that's fine. So 1, and go up there and do an 8, and then go in here. X cubed over 2. And get 648. Now number 11 is, I need you to pay attention because you are likely going to mess something up. And actually, if you hit alpha window, the second one is also, so that's another place you can find it. So go ahead and do your x equals 1 and the 5 on number 11 and then hold on. You see how on number 11 there is a squared outside of the parentheses. If you type it in like this, what it's going to do is it's going to do the sum first and then square that answer. So if you have a squared or basically anything outside of the parentheses, you've got to make some more parentheses. So I'm on the inside, I'm going to do parenthesis 4 minus x, close parentheses, and then my squared. So all of that is still contained in the sigma. Just like that. And you get 15. Like on number 12, I don't have to add any extra parentheses. You can, but since nothing is really outside of the parentheses, it won't matter. So that's fine. As long as your whole equation has to be contained in the parentheses. And we get 61 on that one. Are there any questions?